Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CSTV. I'm your host Kathleen Egaltuto, Madam CS, and this is The Striker. Stay tuned and have it raw and real. Today we start a striker on a sad note, and this we start by sending our condolences to the families and individuals who have lost their beloved one in the Finance Bill 2024 protests. And do this particular video looking at the various pictures that are circulating online. You know, the people, the families we see crying on national televisions, the people calling, you know, for their loved ones who actually cannot be able to come back. And for me, the most disturbing of all these things is when you see like somebody has been shot dead to an extent that the brain, you know, is just on the streets. And this person has been shot by a police officer, you know. When you see somebody with 8 bullets on the body, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you know, and this was a protester, or this person was protesting against the finance bill, and then this police officer sees it good, you know, you see it as wise. I don't know how you see it when you release 8 bullets on somebody who is not armed. You know, you have the tear gas, you have the gun, maybe you have the Kasimoro Rungu, you know, you are fully armed as a police officer, and the person you are releasing 8 live bullets onto is not armed. Where did we take our humanity? And you know, we live in a state where by now violence is being used against the citizenry of the state. You know, when you see police officers stepping on people's heads, it's not like disciplining, but it is stepping on people's head to, you know, to kill. Some years back, people were protesting all over Africa that we cannot breathe after George Floyd in the US was actually killed by a police officer. But we forgot that back here at home, we have police officers who use excessive force on the Kenyan citizens. And the 2024 and finance bill protests have demonstrated that, you know. I'm like, police officers, when you are going to riot areas, you have the water cannons, you have the tear gas canisters, you have even rubber bullets. Why can't you use these rubber bullets? Why don't you even shoot on the air? Because people will definitely disperse. Must you use live bullets? And I'm like, you are in the streets today as a police officer, you are shooting people to kill them. The videos actually are capturing you. 3 to 6 months from now, the IPOA will be on your radar. What will be, who will stand to protect you? Because how do you shoot somebody, they fall down, and then you continue shooting them? Because how come somebody has up to 8 wounds on their bodies of bullets, you know? And I'm saying this, I'm not assuming the fact that whenever we have protests, there are those people who also take advantage of protests to steal from people, to destroy property, etc. We cannot run away from the fact that whenever there are protests, there are always a group of people who want to take advantage of this protest to destroy property, to cause violence, etc. But I think that is the difference. That's where the difference between the disciplined forces and these undisciplined or unorganized civilians comes in. As a disciplined force, then you are supposed to know, me, I'm armed, yes. You are supposed to protect yourself, yes, as a personnel. It's good, but you are also supposed to do so while respecting the rights of other individuals, that is the right to life. And by using live bullets on somebody who is not armed, that is not protecting the right to life. Now, it makes it sometimes creates an image like there's no difference between the civilians who resort to mob justice and our disciplined, trained forces, because if you can use 8 bullets on somebody and the civilians can use over 1,000 or even 10 stones on somebody, why did you go to the training for the first place? So I think my message is very clear, and it's like, it's high time that we called our police officers whenever they do wrong. And I think in the Finance Bill 2024 protests, they have gone against the right of life. They have killed the people indiscriminately by shooting live bullets. Some of the people who have been shot while in the hospitals were not even in that maandamano. We have had cases of a mother crying that saying he was just selling onions in Githurai with her daughter, and only to see her daughter fall down, meaning that bullet just came, it was a stray bullet that hit that baby, that girl. So how many have died in such cases where you just decide to shoot indiscriminately, killing people who are not even in that maandamano, killing people who are not even part of that particular squad? So I'm like, when you do that, are you treating the Kenyan citizens as your enemy? We are not your enemies. The Kenyan citizens are not your enemies. We saw even Kenyan citizens helping the police actually, who had been overwhelmed by the tear gas canisters. But we have the police who are even firing towards a medical camp, a tent where the health practitioners were trying to give first aid to people. Sending tear gases, canisters, throwing tear gas canisters even into the church compound. Police officers, what's wrong with you? Where did the humanity go? Where did the right to protect life, where did the responsibility to protect life go? Is that what we call utumishi kwa wote? I just think going forward, this is also a dialogue that we need to have. This is a conversation. It's high time that we have this conversation, because we talk over and over. Human rights bodies have spoken about this over and over, but it seems that it's like sometimes people have that command, shoot to kill, and I'm like, who is this saying this? Because how come police officers are just shooting people aimlessly and nobody's talking about them from the government? We need accountability, and I think IPOA, something ought to be done. And it is so sad that we are losing young people in the hands of the police officers simply because they cannot be able to use their skills and their trainings well in terms of dispersing crowds and protests. It's so wrong when they are using live bullets, and we have to condemn it with the highest with everything that we hold dear, because if we continue like this, another protest will happen tomorrow. Maybe people are protesting, they want to be their pays to be increased, still the police will use this kind of violence against them. And I think it's high time that we have a candid conversation about this. If we continue like this, we are going to be a military state where people will not even talk, and the worst part of it is that we are going to go back to that high mistrust levels between the citizenry and the police. We will get to a point whereby even if the public found a police officer actually struggling, all facing a problem that needs urgent help, they will not be able to help. And the day we will enter there, we cannot even be able to deal with criminals in this particular country, because the fact that the police are able to maintain law and order, they are being helped by the good citizens who go to report these particular criminals. But if the police continue like this, killing indiscriminately people of this particular country, then mistrust will go down, and the consequence will be people will be defending criminals, people will be hiding criminals, and people will not be ready to come out and talk, and this country will not be the once peaceful country that we needed. And therefore, before we enter those extreme ends, can we please have this conversation? What's your take? Comments on the comment section below. down below, and let me hear your opinion. Let me hear your views. What do you think should be done? Thank you so much. Like, share, subscribe, and comment on this particular video. Bye bye.